doing chest. Yeah, I shaved. I don't really know how I feel about it. Uh, I feel like my face looks weird with absolutely nothing, but I'll probably get used to it. Uh, Honestly, gonna try and be a little uh, speedy with today's lift if possible. And 'cause I got some homework stuff I want to do. It's Sunday. I want to study. Not really trying to be at the gym for like ever. Uh, and chest is a day that if you're smart and once you choose, you can be in and out pretty quick. Um, Speaking of, so movement wise, hold on. I feel like I forgot to eat something. Did I? No, no. I'll be fine. Okay. Um, Technically like 10, 15 minutes behind. So I guess kind of stretching. Hold on, I'm getting a call. Okay. Phone call ignored. Uh, so yeah, movement wise, I think that's what I was talking about. Movement wise, for what I'm gonna do, probably not gonna do any free weight stuff. Even if my shoulder's feeling good for that, just one a little bit quicker not to do it. But also just smarter to give a little more rest and relaxation to that shoulder joint. So I'm gonna go in. I'm either gonna do the incline hammer strength machine for like an upper chest movement, or I'll do the flat press hammer strength machine. So those are kind of still a little bit more upper chest biased. If you actually kind of look at the path that your hands travel through, uh, their flat press machine is going to get a little bit more into the upper chest, especially if you set up your seat right. And that's why if you guys use their hammer strength incline press, you might often feel like, oh, this feels like super anterior delt focused. That's because they all kind of have a little bit more of an upward arc, more so than really needed or necessary. So that's that. Um, wow. Okay. Got that thing fixed and back up there. It's kind of crooked. I'll adjust it at this light. But uh, yeah, so I'm going to start off with one of those two movements, probably the flat press one, because that's probably going to feel a little bit better on my shoulder. And if I set up the seat right, maybe I'll chit chat about it while I'm there. You can still get a pretty good upper chest connection with it. Um, then I'm thinking I'll probably move over. Wow, I'll probably move over to decline press. Um, Finish off with light turned green. All right, this is a pretty straight stretch of road. Do a little adjustment there. Yeah, it looks pretty straight. So yeah, move over to decline, hit that lower part of the chest. Then probably move over to maybe converging press. That is a little stretch on the shoulders, so who knows? And then pec deck. So a pretty simple setup for the lift. Honestly, that might even get condensed down into just like 3 movements. It really just depends on how productive the sets feel and what I'm liking. But so yeah. So as I was saying, um, pretty simple setup. If I condense it down into something, I'll probably take out the converging press. Um, and aim for anywhere between, you know, at least 8 total sets. I think that's going to be more than enough, depending on. And I'll probably do a little bit more time and attention sets today, so a little bit more slower control, a little lower volume, at least rep wise. But I'm going to shut up. I'm going to turn this off, put some music on, and then get ready for the lift. Sorry, I wanted to make that like I did so under illegal speed limit. My face looks like fucking soft as shit. I don't like not having any hair. Wait, it looks almost like too smooth. My skin looks weird. I don't like this. Ah.
Let's go. Two more on your own. Two more on your own. Let's go. So you got one more on your own. One more on your own. So you got one. Thank you. Go. Let's go. Two more. One more. One more.
My hips starting to cramp. Oh. All right, I'm going down. Wait.
Let's go. You got it. All you. All you. Two more. Two more. Two more. Two more. Two more good ones. One more good one. Yeah, yeah, bro. One more on your end. Let's go. All you. All you. Yeah, two more. Two more. Two more. One more. Last one. All you. Let's go. Go, two more. Two more. Two more. One more. Keep squeezing. Keep squeezing. One more on your end. One more on your end. Two more. Two more. Two more.
Okay. What the? Oh. I'm like, I can hear my AC just blaring, but I don't feel it. That's because it was on the Windows setting and not on the me setting, not on my face. Now it is. Okay. Chest day felt awesome. I have like a hair in my nose, so no, I'm not picking at my boogers, although I will do that. I'll admit it. Currently I'm picking at what feels like a hair. But yes, back to the point of the video. Who's calling me? Okay. There we go. We're at a red light. And we're turning right on red legally. Okay, as I was saying before I got rudely interrupted by the phone call. Okay, yeah, I don't remember what I was talking about, but it was good chest day. I think that's what I was talking about. I just heard a noise come from my phone holder. I feel like it's about to fall soon. And that guy is just over the yellow line. It's very cool. So yeah, I didn't even do what I said I was going to do. I think I did a total of 10-ish sets. I did 2 working on the incline, 2 working on the decline, and I want to say I did 6 on the pec deck. 3 of like a lower rep range, good time and attention, pause and controlling the negative, and 3 just kind of like, burning out, a little bit higher volume. Okay, now I'll admit it. Now I am picking for boogers. Didn't get one though, but yeah. So my chest felt great at the end. Just like shot, good amount of blood flow. Changing my shirt, I was happy with what I was seeing. Surprised at the vascularity that I'm still holding in my chest at this weight. Dude, there's more noises coming from the. There's a red light. There we go. There we go. Oh, hold up. Okay. Glad we got that figured out. I feel like it's gonna fall. It looks funky. As I was saying, happy with the vascularity that my chest is holding at this body weight. Yeah, in terms of like, the lift not being exactly how I described it planning when I went in, that is actually going to be the talking point for the drive home, as well as the fact is, a friend of mine texted me while I was leaving. He's like, "What is your chest day?" I was like, depends. I FaceTimed him as I was walking out and I explained to him, like, today I literally just did like 2 presses and then just sat on the pec deck for a while. Wasn't even that long. I was in and out in like an hour. Maybe a little longer. But what do you get off your phone, Missy? I can't really talk. Dude, my phone is about to fall, and I just know it. Anyways, um, anyways, as I was saying, uh, yeah, talking point is just, be able to adapt. And that's something that's going to come with time and in the gym and knowing what you do and don't like and what doesn't feel good. But do your best at being able to adapt if you're a newer lifter. In that, if you like, how do I want to talk about this? Okay, so two kind of conversations I even had with somebody while I was at the gym uh, about how people get a little too over worried about um, the science. And I think people don't understand that the science is going to be your guideline, and then you gotta really just kind of figure out what works for you from there. For example, other day I'm here, younger kid, and he's younger, not as far along in the gym, and so with that he's smaller, um, earlier in his lifting career. And he came up to me, it was nice. He was like, "Oh, you're big," and he was like asking me about like what I eat and stuff. And I didn't get like too super specific. I just told him kind of like what amounts I'm eating and then the type of foods that I am consuming to get that from my meals. He just blurts out, he goes, "Oh, but that's too much protein." And I giggled because, there's a lot of people online that'll be new lifters, 150 pounds, and try and tell the big guys that they're doing it wrong because it's not what the science says, or that it won't work. And obviously, that wasn't what this kid was saying. He was just, I could tell it was more the moment he heard the number of protein, the first thing that came into his head was that thought, and it just came out of his mouth. And then we laughed about it. But I was like, yeah, I mean, the thing with when it comes to science and stuff, very much has good practicality when it comes to the training and the lifts, because you can take a 60-year-old guy and do data studies on those types of dudes in terms of exercise movement selection, and it's going to be pretty applicable across the board, because in the end the body is still the body, the mechanics of the body are still the same, it's still the same angles, so there's not going to be all that much variability. But when it comes to like nutrition, there's not much like applicable nutrition data towards guys that are bodybuilding. You know, a lot of it is done on the older crowds, so people above like 20s and 30s, older, and they're not very often being done with like a what's called a focus group of people that are like living a bodybuilder lifestyle in terms of the amount of physical activity and stimulus that they provide their body and all that stuff. And so it's kind of hard to just say that 100% certainty, this study that's done in the context of an old dude that's living a pretty basic lifestyle is going to transition over to a pro level bodybuilder that's taking stuff and training all the time and training to the extreme, blah, 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 and has all these different variables in terms of the lifestyle context. So, and that's why you had guys like Ronnie eating like 600 grams of protein. And it's a little bit of bro science, because there just hasn't been science done on that crowd and population yet. So, same thing with the training, but not as much. But my mentality of it is, and I'll just wrap this up because I'm parking, use it as a guideline. I think lower volume training from a purely textbook perspective is going to be a little more ideal, because you're going to have a little bit lower overall volume, so a little bit less, systemic fatigue and a little bit better recoverability aspect. Now, on top of that, when you're doing lower volume, you're going to use heavier load, which is going to allow you to recruit more motor units in the earlier reps of the set. So, technically, it's a little bit more better or ideal, but the question is, at what point are you splitting hairs? And where my opinion comes in is, okay, my guideline is that a 5 to 8 rep range might be a little bit better than a 15 to 20 or a 10 to 15. But if I go into the gym and I'm doing my 5 to 8 rep range and this is boring, I don't want to be here, I don't want to do this, and my mind is just like, man, I wish I could just really just rep some shit out and just go ham at that, then at that point do the higher volume, because you're probably going to put such a drastic higher amount of intensity into the higher volume because that's really what you're looking forward to. And at that point, that difference in intensity is probably going to make up for the difference in optimability and overall be a more productive training session. So, use science as your guideline, but be able to adapt to what is going to work best for you in the moment in terms of both volume and then also exercise selection. All right.